Hello my loves and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we're of course on the very last TBR of 2021. That's right, it's time for December's TBR game. Now I am making a couple of adjustments here because I wanted to try something. When I do my rolls, I'm actually now going to show you when I choose the next prompt. Normally what happens is I film this bit and then I film all my rolls in one go and then I show you me deciding what book's going to go with what prompt, but I think I'm going to do it different this time and actually just roll as I go and choose the books as I go. So we're going to try it, see how it works. If you like it and if you prefer it, please let me know in the comments below. And then the other thing that's going to be changing is normally for my TBR game, if you've watched these before, you would know that I roll a 6-coloured sided dice a minimum of 6 times. And then if the same colour comes up twice, I re-roll. But if it comes up a third or fourth, it doesn't matter. It's only the second time it matters. That always means I have a minimum of 6 books, but it can go up to 12. But what I've been noticing is, honestly, for the last few months, I'll be lucky if I can get to 10 books in a month. And it's normally averaged out of that I read about 8, and it's genuinely just because I'm busier now. Like when I first started this TBR game, I wasn't really working, I was part furloughed, so I had a lot more time to read on my hands. So instead what I'm going to do is just reduce the amount of rolls to 5. If at any point I find, you know what, I'm managing this really well and I want to go back up to 6, then I will. But for now it's going to be 5 rolls and a bit more wordy bits for this intro, but I don't have any readathons as yet that I'm taking part in. If I do decide to take in any readathons, I will make a separate video for those closer to the time. But that's everything. So we need to choose our 6th prompt. Let's go with, you know what, I'm wearing a pink top, let's go with pink. Oh, a dark cover. Right, now that's chosen, let's go to roll number 1. Roll number 1. Blue. Anything. So roll number 1 is probably my favourite prompt out of everything, and that is anything, because it's the easiest thing on the planet. So for anything, I've decided to go for a book which now I'm thinking I should have gone for something smaller just in case my TBR gets a bit out of hand, but I have gone for The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and this is the book that everyone recommends for dark academia. It's a book that I've been really interested in, especially because dark academia is something that I've been wanting to get into more. It basically romanticizes academia and genuinely working too hard, but apparently this is meant to be a really good one with really dark themes and vibes. I don't know too much about it and I want it to stay that way, but it is one that I bought couple months ago when I was really interested in reading more about dark academia, so I went out and bought quite a lot of books, and this is one that just everyone recommended, and they kind of see it as almost like the godfather of dark academia, whether that's true or not because you have the picture of Dorian Gray and all of that. But anyway, that's a ramble. I don't know what this is about. It's meant to be really good, so let's do that. Okay, now that that's out the way, let's choose another prompt. Let's go for yellow. Go for that one. YA fantasy. Fair enough. Let's go to roll number 2 then. Roll number 2. Oh, orange. Reread. So roll number 2, a reread, which honestly I haven't actually done a reread in a little while, so I think that's going to be quite nice. Now, for those of you that have been watching my channel for a little while, you'd know that I have been reading V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic series. This is a reread for me and I'm up to the 3rd book, so that's what's going to be my reread prompt. It's going to be A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This is a really good fantasy series and I think it bridges the gap between YA and adult fantasy really well. We are following a few different main characters, but we're in this world where there is multiple worlds stacked on top of one another and there is magic within these different worlds. So at the very bottom you have Grey London, which is our London but in the past. Then you have Red London, which is the world that has the best balance with magic. They're able to use it and honestly it's beautiful. It's a great world. I really enjoy it every time we're there. And then we have White London, which is the world that succumbed to magic and it's bordering on the edge, although from the 2nd book things are starting to change. And then you have Black London, which is the London that is sealed off because magic went out of control and tried taking over everything. I really like this series. The 2nd book is definitely more of middle book syndrome, but you have this whole magical tournament that's taking place, which I really like. And this 3rd book, from what I remember, I do enjoy it, but it has been a little while since I've read it, so it would be nice to give this a reread. Am I considering my life choices, considering I've now chosen another big book for my TBR? Yes, but let's just see how it goes. Okay, so now we've got to choose another prompt. Let's go blue. The title with one word. All right, let's go to roll number 3. Roll number 3. Oh, orange again. Title with one word. Choosing another prompt. Let's go this one. Mystery. And the first reroll. Yellow. Animal on the cover. Oh, fun. Our first reroll. So the first prompt was title with one word, and because it was a reroll and I have already chosen 2 big books, I've gone for a very small one, and I'm going with Robert Louis Stevenson's Olala. This is part of the Modern Classics Penguin Pocket books. This is literally £1, and on this one it literally says Stevens' chillin' Victorian Gothic novella about decaying aristocracy, vampirism and tormented love. It sounds absolutely perfect. I really enjoy these little books. One, for the fact that when my TBR starts getting a bit out of control with big books for the month, I can add something little, and 2, because they are perfect ways to dip your toes into classics and just see if you're going to like that particular author's work or not. I've already read a book by Robert Louis Stevenson, which was The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I really enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to reading this one and reading more of his works. Then for the reroll, it was Animal on the Cover, and there's one book that I've been wanting to read in December, genuinely because I've never read it before and I want to read it at Christmas time, and that is Charles Dickens' Christmas books. Now, probably not all of these, but definitely A Christmas Carol, and there is a wee little cat on the cover, so that definitely counts. That counts. So yeah, I probably won't be reading the whole of this, but definitely I want to read A Christmas Carol for Christmas. I've never read it before, and I was like, well, that's the perfect time to actually read it, so I'm really pleased I got this one on the TBR. Okay, choose again. Let's go adult fantasy. Okay, let's go for roll number 4. Hopefully no more rerolls. Roll number 4. Blue. Again. Oh my god. YA fantasy. Okay, let's go with that one. New to me author. Reroll number 2. Oh, that went all over that. But it's purple. It's a dark cover. Oh joys. Another reroll. This is why I lowered the amount of rolls that I do, because it is ridiculous. Okay, so the first one for roll number 4 is YA fantasy, and I've decided to go with The Wicked Deep by Shea Erenshaw. I really enjoyed Winterwood, which I read last year. I thought it had really nice witchy vibes to it and a really cold atmospheric setting. So I wanted to read her other book, which is The Wicked Deep, which again is about witches, and this time it's about sisters that return, stealing the bodies of 3 girls and seeking revenge by dragging boys to their watery depths because they were drowned in the waters near the town in the past. So this just sounds really good, really atmospheric, really creepy. That's what I'm hoping for, and it's a nice short one, so hopefully it'll be a quick read as well. And then for the reroll of roll number 4, we had dark cover, and I've decided to go with Perfume by Patrick Susskind. This is a book that I've been wanting to read for ages. I am just, 1, loving this cover. I think it's brilliant, and 2, it was at a time when I was really interested in like gothic literature and looking into ones that people would recommend, and this is one that kept coming up. This is all about a man that I believe doesn't have a sense of smell, or he has a really good sense of smell. A really good sense of smell, but he is literally trying to create different scents, and I believe he starts murdering people to try and recreate the scent of death and all sorts. It just sounds really chilling, and I cannot wait to actually read this one. I've been meaning to for absolutely months, so yes, very pleased that came up. Alright, now let's choose the prompt for the 5th and hopefully final time. And let's go, you know what, let's finish it all up with another pink, because I like pink. Highest rated on my TBR. Okay, fingers crossed no more rerolls again. Roll number 5. Oh, pink. Contemporary. Thankfully, it wasn't a reroll, so roll number 5 was contemporary, but now I have realised that I have 0 contemporaries on my TBR. Like, 0. And what I mean by that is, like, I have different like thrillers or things like that for what I would class as just a contemporary on its own, I just don't have, and I'm not feeling like reading a thriller at the moment. So instead of actually going with that prompt, I'm going to go with a book that my work colleague recently gave to me. It was one of his absolute favourite books, and he said, look, give it a try and let him know how I like it, which I did want to get onto my December TBR. So I'm actually going to go with that instead and class it as a contemporary because it's been recommended to me. Honestly, it doesn't work, and that's The Kite Runner. And that's by Khalid Hossein. I'm sorry, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but he said it was such a moving book. He really loved it. He doesn't read a lot of books, but this is one that he absolutely loved. So I was like, you know what? Sure. I'm going to give this a try. It is meant to be such a stunning book, but I have no idea what it's actually about. It says, Afghanistan 1975, 12-year-old Amir is desperate to win the local kite fighting tournament, and his friend Hassan promises to help him. But neither of the boys can foresee what will happen to Hassan that afternoon, an event that is to shatter their lives. After the Russians invade and the family is forced to flee to America, Amir realises that one day he must return to Afghanistan under Taliban rule to find the one thing that his new world cannot grant him: redemption. I mean, it sounds really intriguing. So yes, this is definitely historical fiction and not a contemporary, but I mean, technically it was written recent. When was it written? In 2011. So I'm going to count that because it was published recently. That's, you know what, it doesn't work, but it's fine. That's what we're going with. Well, that's my little stack for the month. There's 7 books on there, which honestly, I think this is actually quite a manageable pile, even though we do have the 2 bigger books. I am really pleased that I've decided to do less rolls and give myself less pressure in actually reading these books. It will give me time to finish these without stressing about it. And if I don't feel like reading one day, then I don't have to. Or if I manage to finish them all early, then I can start a different book, you know? It would just be nice to give myself that bit of a break. But yeah, this is the books that I'm going with. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you've liked any of these, especially Kite Runner. Like, what do you think of it if you have read it? I'm kind of scared that it's going to make me cry because that seems to be the vibe that I'm getting, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have made it this far, let's go with a book stack emoji. As said, let me know what you're going to be reading this month, if you've read any of the books that I've picked and what you thought. And if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it that little thumbs up, subscribe and comment to let me know that you're here. Social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next video.